Good morning to you, Meteorologist Chris Still here. Saturday, August the 16th. It's about 9:06 in the morning on your Saturday. Hope your weekends get off to a good start. It's hard to believe the month of August is already halfway over, and it will indeed feel like August as we head through the weekend. It's going to be seasonably hot and very humid. Nothing unusual for this time of the year, but like we saw on Friday, it looks like we are very likely going to have a round of showers and thunderstorms, possibly some locally heavy rain later on for the afternoon, possibly into the early evening hours. We'll have more on that, plus the latest on Hurricane Erin. It did strengthen into a Category 4 storm in less than 24 hours, some rapid strengthening. It did lose a little bit of strengthening overnight, but we'll take a look at the latest on Hurricane Erin that continues to churn through the Atlantic. But before we get into all that, let's take a look back at what was a very hot and very humid Friday. The high temperature officially at Augusta Regional Airport was 95 degrees, the low 75, and that is a very high low temperature, a sign that humidity yesterday was very, very high. So that 95 felt like about 103 during that hot part of the afternoon. Sunrise was at this morning at 6:51, and the sun will set tonight promptly at 8:13. Your average high 93, the average low 71, but we are past the statistically hottest part of summer. The average high during the hottest part of summer 94. So week by week we do get cooler and cooler, but it will be a very slow change, and it's definitely going to be hot for the next 7 days or so. So here are your weather headlines I'll talk to you about in the next 10 minutes or so. Storms will return this afternoon. It will be mainly dry for Sunday and seasonably hot and remaining very humid for the week ahead. Here's a live look from the top of Lake Thurmond. A beautiful Saturday morning out there, a lot of sunshine early on. We're looking off toward the east there from the top of the dam. It was a beautiful sunrise, but the sun now high in the sky and plenty of blue skies. At 10 o'clock though, it will be a warm start, 82 degrees. We're possibly in the mid 80s by 3 p.m. That's going to depend on if it's raining where you are. If you're not in the rain by that point, the high today should make it into the lower 90s. That's going to feel like about 100, maybe 101 for the hot afternoon hours today. But we are going to have a backdoor front moving through the area. It isn't really going to cool us off any, and it really won't knock out the humidity much, but what it will do is serve as a focal point during the afternoon hours today for a pretty good round of showers and thunderstorms. The Storm Prediction Center does not have us outlooked in the severe threat, but we did have some stronger storms on Friday night that had 40, 50 mile per hour wind gusts. A lot of locally heavy rainfall and a good bit of lightning. So while severe thunderstorms per se are not likely, some of the storms still could be on the strong side. This is going to be between about 2 in the afternoon and about 6 o'clock this evening, and then things do wane down as we head toward the evening hours. 8 o'clock temperature tonight, a very warm and muggy 80 degrees. Let's take you hour by hour through the weekend on our computer model here. We'll start things off at 10 o'clock, as you saw on the camera there. A lot of sunshine. We'll have a northeast breeze today, a real gentle breeze at about 4 to 8. As we head toward 1 o'clock, there could be a few isolated showers and thunderstorms beginning to pop up. But again, the later you get in the afternoon, 2, 3, 4, and 5 o'clock will be the peak activity. By 6 and 7 tonight, we do start to see less activity. This model indicating we wouldn't have any activity across the area. I do think we'll have a few scattered thunderstorms. Let's just say until sunset tonight. But as we do cool off tonight and that front does move on to the south, the showers and thunderstorms will move on to the south as well. And then Sunday will be a drier day. Still a warm day starting off in the lower 70s. And anytime you have morning temperatures in the lower 70s, you are talking about summer humidity. So while the front did come through here, we're not going to really feel it a whole lot. In fact, tomorrow will be a hotter afternoon simply because we'll have more sunshine and less thunderstorms to keep temperatures in check. So as we head through the day tomorrow, highs get into probably the lower to middle 90s. A hot one on Monday as high pressure builds into the area. Maybe a 20% chance of a storm tomorrow through about Wednesday, and then toward the end of the week, things become a little more unsettled again with showers and thunderstorms returning Thursday and into Friday. So toward the end of the week, the rain comes back. But as far as the next few days, today is it. So if you have outdoor plans for the weekend, by far tomorrow will be the better of the 2 days. I'm not telling you to cancel your plans for Saturday, but if they are for the afternoon, definitely have an indoor alternative, because the rain is going to be out there, and the rain could be locally heavy. The Weather Prediction Center does have our area outlooked in the level 1 marginal threat for flash flooding. So the flash flood threat very small today, but it is out there. So definitely keep in mind that rain could be heavy in some locations. Current temperatures are very warm, mid to upper 70s already at 9-10 in the morning, 79 right now for Waynesboro and Barnwell over toward Bamberg. Our coolest weather in Crawfordville over toward Thompson, where it is currently 73 degrees. First Alert Radar Network is dry all across the CSRA, but there is a shower over there in the southern Midlands of South Carolina. It looks like northern Orangeburg County getting some rain as thunderstorms are already trying to develop. As we pan out on the map here, we do have a frontal boundary stretch across the state. That'll serve as a focal point for showers and thunderstorms, a lifting mechanism to help showers and thunderstorms form this afternoon. High pressure to our north will continue to provide that northeasterly flow across the area, but it's still going to be mighty hot and very humid with those dew points all the way up into the middle 70s, fueling those showers and thunderstorms. Our air is just wringing wet, and really you practically look at the air wrong and it's going to form a thunderstorm. So definitely a good bit of rain anticipated as we head later toward today. Everybody's talking about Hurricane Erin, so I figured I would too. It's not going to affect us here in the CSRA. It's not going to directly affect the U.S. mainland, although there are going to be high surf rip currents along the Georgia and South Carolina coast as we head into the early part of next week. So if you are headed down to the coast, it might not be a good idea to get into the water, because the surf's going to be kind of rough. As of the latest advisory from the Hurricane Center, it has strengthened. The 8 o'clock advisory out, and it is back to Category 4 strength. The winds back up to 145 miles per hour. When I came in at 5 this morning, the winds had gone down to 120 miles per hour. So a lot of fluctuation in strength, but it has indeed strengthened very, very quickly and is back up to Category 4 strength, and not all that far from Category 5 strength. If it was to get about, I think it's about 12 more miles per hour. So again, very powerful storm. It is a very quick moving storm, moving west-northwest at 20 miles per hour. And for the most part, with some fluctuation, it is expected to hang on to that major hurricane strength as it turns to the north. The island of Bermuda is still in that eastern portion of the forecast cone. It's also a very, very large storm. So it's not going to affect us here in the U.S. the way we see it right now. However, the island of Bermuda looks like they are going to be impacted by that storm in some way at least. Our forecast for today, it will be a mix of sunshine and cloud cover. Your chance of an afternoon storm today is 60%, a light wind from the northeast at 4 to 8. Your high today in Evans, Augusta, about 92 degrees. Elsewhere around the area, upper 80s to lower 90s are going to be a safe bet, depending on the timing of any rain that you do get today. Storms early tonight, but they will be dissipating as we go through the evening. So your chance of rain this evening goes from 60 this afternoon down to 30% for tonight. And then we'll have dry weather overnight, waking up Sunday morning to about 73 in Sylvania. Here is your 7-day forecast. Rain chances tomorrow go from 60% today down to 20% tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday. And then we'll gradually bring back the rain chances Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as the area of high pressure bringing us drier weather begins to retreat, and that allows those thunderstorms to return. In fact, thunderstorms becoming likely again, looks like maybe on Friday, and that's going to keep high temperatures down around 90 degrees Friday headed into next weekend. There's another shot of that beautiful morning there at the lake, a lot of blue skies. Your lake forecast today is calling for high temperatures up around 90 degrees on the water. Northeast winds at 5 to 10. The water temperature has warmed up a little bit thanks to the summer temperatures returning. Now the water temperature at Lake Thurman is 83. The lake level nice and full, 330.62 is the latest lake reading. and the full pool is 330 feet above sea level. UV index today is a 10, so that is high. So if you will be outside doing yard work on the lake, what have you, if the sun is out, definitely have the sunscreen on. Other than when we do have the rain showers, northeast winds at 5 to 10, mainly dry for tomorrow. So it will be a nice Sunday up there on Lake Thurman. You may be traveling. It is the weekend, so here's a look at your travel outlook. There's our regional radar. Dry weather right now across Georgia and Alabama. We do have that flare up of thunderstorms southeast of Columbia, but those are not really moving anywhere. So weather looking good if you're headed over toward Columbia, Florence, Myrtle Beach right now. But again, toward the afternoon and into tonight, those showers and thunderstorms will be returning. And that forecast really applies all across eastern Georgia and South Carolina, with rain chances diminishing a little bit as you go back to the west toward Atlanta and into Alabama. Temperatures around the southeast are in the upper 70s, lower 80s. Already a warm start there in Myrtle Beach at 84 degrees, 80 in Savannah and Tybee Island, 77 in Macon, and 78 at this hour in Birmingham, Alabama. Your road trip forecast, if you're headed to the mountains, about a 40% chance of a thunderstorm today in Asheville, North Carolina. Highs there in the mid to upper 80s. Tomorrow, a drier day, only about a 20% chance of a thunderstorm, 89. The Georgia coast, not bad in Tybee Island, about 60% chance of thunderstorms this afternoon, with highs in the upper 80s. Sunday, that goes down to about 40%, so still scattered thunderstorms along the Georgia coast. And apply this forecast to the South Carolina coast as well. So if you're going to Charleston, Myrtle Beach, you can pretty much copy and paste this forecast with highs in the upper 80s along the coast and scattered showers and thunderstorms. We'll go ahead and talk about Erin one more time in case you tuned in late here. It is a Category 4 hurricane as of the 8 o'clock advisory on Saturday morning. It is moving very quickly to the west-northwest at 20 miles per hour. Winds now 145. Earlier this morning it was 120. So it lost a little bit of strength overnight, but it has quickly regained that strength. Here's the forecast track from the Hurricane Center. There will be a new forecast issued at 11 o'clock Eastern time, so you'll want to be sure to tune in for that. Really don't expect a whole lot of change in the forecast path. They've been very consistent with this one. Models appear to have a good grip on the direction this storm is going, and the good news is it looks like that direction is going to be away from the U.S. mainland. In fact, really not all that close. There will be high surf along the southeast U.S. coast, and we may be in the subsidence zone of this storm. The periphery of these hurricanes, you have rising air inside the storm. Well, what goes up comes down, and you do have sinking air on the outer periphery of these storms, and what happens is that can cause some very hot temperatures. So along about Monday, we're going to have high temperatures in the middle, maybe even some upper 90s, depending on exactly how this plays out. But that does mean we'd have low rain chances. So if any influence is felt here in the CSRA, it's actually going to be some sunny and hotter than average temperatures to start the work week. And I'll show you that 7-day forecast again in just a moment. In fact, here's that moment now as we close out this broadcast here. 60% chance of a thunderstorm this afternoon, mainly between 2 and 6 p.m. here in the CSRA. High 92, Sunday 94. Monday, that hot day I was telling you about in the periphery of Hurricane Erin. We're going to be in that subsidence zone. 95 the high. A couple of the models said we could get into the upper 90s. I wasn't quite ready to go that hot just yet with our forecast, but we'll keep an eye on it. It's going to be a hot one Monday. A lot of humidity too, so that 95 will feel like about 102, 103. And then Tuesday, mainly dry day, and then toward the end of the week, high pressure leaves, low pressure returns, and that's going to mean higher rain chances and slightly cooler temperatures, but still very high summer humidity Thursday, Friday, headed into next weekend. All right, Malik Bryant will have the very latest on your weekend forecast and Hurricane Erin later on today. Until then, I'm going to sign off. I'll see you back on the air on News 12 and 26, dark and early tomorrow morning from 6 until 8 a.m. Hope to see you then. Have a great day.